Hey everyone, and welcome back to the other side of now. Okay, so today I'm going to jump straight into it. I have realized that a lot of people have said that the reason they've really struggled to reach an out of body experience is because they can't hit sleep paralysis. Now, there are so many different ways of achieving the out of body experience, but the one that I consistently find myself using is through deep meditation. So I thought I would just share with you how I do it, and you might want to try it. So, this is something I've actually been doing since I was a teenager, but I didn't really realize that it was a thing, I guess. I've always been really interested in deep meditation and hypnagogic states. And I realized recently that you can actually reach an out of body experience through this type of meditation. So I don't really know all the correct terminology for this. I'm just going to share literally my experience and what I do. So I find that most people, when they're going to attempt meditation, they're sitting up. And I think that's great if you want to stay awake. But if you're doing this because you would like to have an OBE, I have found that actually laying down and using a blindfold and using binaural beats is really helpful. So, this is what you're going to do: you're going to lay down, you're going to put your blindfold on. This is where using binaural beats that have those very specific little noises in them. So, I will link one in the description below that I find really useful. And it's just free, it's on YouTube. And they, every now and then, it plays this little noise, but it's subtle and it's quiet. And I feel that that really helps me to just gain full consciousness when I'm unconscious. And then what I tend to do is I visualize shapes. Now, your mind is going to wander and it's going to try and take you here, there, and everywhere. But what you need to do is stick with the shapes that you're seeing in front of your eyes. So focus on them and then watch them change. They will morph into different things. And if they morph into things that aren't shapes, I just very gently bring my mind back to where I want it to be, looking at the different shapes and seeing where they're taking me. I also then start thinking about, well, it's unconditional love, really. I know that sounds a bit airy fairy, but I start thinking about my unconditional love as Christina the human. Who do I have unconditional love for? I think about my children, I think about my partner, family, etc., whatever um, resonates with you. And then I build on that. So if you take that feeling of love and you let it expand, so you let it get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then at the same time, I imagine unconditional love pouring into me through the top of my head. The unconditional love is coming in, and then I'm also releasing unconditional love. And then this might sound a bit strange, but I feel like if you can keep yourself in that state, feeling those emotions for long enough, you are watching the shapes and feeling the sensations of unconditional love, it will grow and grow. And I then start thinking about unconditional love for every single being, everything here in this realm, everything out of this realm, and it just builds bigger and bigger until I reach, it's this state that is, it's going to sound so silly, it's almost like orgasmic, but I don't know, that's probably the wrong word to use. It feels like you have reached such a state of bliss that it's almost like there's nowhere else to go from there. And this can happen as quickly as 20 minutes for me now, although when I first started doing this, it maybe took twice that amount of time. And then I just try to then go with the flow. So whatever is coming at that point, I go with it. And then I try not to fall asleep, to keep conscious, but just in that space where you're not unconscious, but you're also not conscious. And it's about trying to hold it there. And then that is where I find my brain, my human brain, starts shutting down. My heart rate really, really lowers. And I've tested this with an Apple Watch. Um, and it's there that I feel I have an opportunity to exit. And I've had quite a few experiences doing it this way. And so I just thought I would share that in case some people feel they're really struggling to experience an OBE, and feel that it's only possible through sleep paralysis, because I know that a lot of people struggle. They struggle to get to sleep paralysis. So I just thought I would share this little method. Another thing I wanted to mention is that if you are somebody who can reach sleep paralysis, but you feel that fear, you know the fear I'm talking about, I know you know, then um, you just got to stick with it. It's like you have to believe that your soul truly is more powerful than any of these, feels like very realistic beings that you are sensing as you're coming out of your body. My personal belief is that those beings are just manifestations of our own fears. But for me, once I made peace with that, was actually when I experienced my first ever OBE through sleep paralysis. Um, was when I just kept telling myself that that feeling, and I know it's so hard, because it feels very it's scary, it's scary, and it feels very real. um and when you're in it, it feels impossible that you can tell yourself this, but I find that in that moment, if you're lucky enough to reach it, you have to tell yourself that you're lucky enough to reach it, and that you're gonna come out no matter what. Just say, I'm not having it. I'm just not having it. I'm coming out. Weirdly, once you become fully conscious in that state, and you can command your own, see, I say command your own reality. I know there's lots of people who would disagree with me and say there is only one truth when you're OBE and whatnot, but I feel that once you can take control of your mind, um you will have the most incredible experiences. And also, another tip is, before you go to bed, or if you're doing the wake to sleep method, um, make sure that you have an intention already, and keep repeating that to yourself, either before you try to do it through deep meditation or before you go to sleep or whatever, because that makes a huge difference. I find that um, I'm actually somebody who hits sleep paralysis unintentionally, and I've been like that my whole life. um, and that's when it can feel a bit scary and a bit out of control, because I hadn't actually intended to. Although now that I feel a little bit more experienced with it, um, if that does happen by mistake, I can at least try to gain consciousness. Anyway, let me know if any of this has worked for you, and if the deep meditation method has worked for you, or if you've already tried it. And I will see you soon.